Greetings and welcome to my new calculus channel. My name is John Gabriel. So today I'm going to be talking about people in the mainstream mathematics community. You could call them idiots because that's what they are. Uh, but at any rate, before I come back to these people here, I want to show you the kind of product that arises from the drivel these individuals that you see in front of you, and not just these five, but many, many, many thousands of others like them, cause to the progress of mathematics and to mainstream students. And these individuals here are all guilty of treason, by the way, treason against humanity, who deserve the utmost penalty. I can't say what it is because it's too harsh and it would mean removing my video. So I'm going to just leave that alone. So let's go to a comment that was made on one of my shorts. So in this short here, what I do is I say there's no mystery to parallel lines or Euclid's fifth requirements. In other words, I show you that parallel lines have nothing to do with axioms, okay? And an axiom is a 100% bullshit concept. It has nothing to do with mathematics. Okay, not needed in mathematics, was not used in Euclid's elements, and it has caused tremendous problems, not only to students, but to the advancements of mathematics. And I'm going to show you why now. So some little dimwit called, and I'm going to get rid of the camera just to be able to have better sound quality. Okay, now, so this little dimwit here, I mean, of course, anyone who has no self-confidence, no dignity, will usually post under a pseudonym like this. This fool, whoever he is, could be anything from one of these five people or their colleagues to uh, a trainee, undergrad, PhD, or a student, or anything else like that. Okay. So now this Geg, yeah, I know it's a stupid name, um, writes a comment here without watching the video, without thinking, or not really trying to understand what's happening. Let me just quickly explain this video to you. So what I've done here is I've shown you how to derive parallel lines from a circle. Okay, so I said draw a circle with any diameter, then take an equal arc by using your compass like this and mark off on the same side of the diameter two spots. Then join those two points or spots. And that line, the secant line here, will be parallel to the diameter. So I define parallel lines in a geometric way, fully geometric. There's nothing axiomatic there. You don't have any bullshit concepts like infinity or anything else. Okay, it's 100% ancient Greek clarity of thought. It's not what comes out of the assholes or the sphincters of these absolute fucking morons that you see in front of you. Okay, an Abel Prize winner, a Fields Medal winner, an ex-Harvard alumnus, or Gilbert Strang, the author of the Dick Picture series. I'll give you a link to the videos I created on that. This guy here is a total moron. And of course, this lovable little Jew boy here, Arthur Rubin, still lives in his parents' basements. I think they may be dead. They were supposedly both mainstream professors. He didn't win any Putnam competitions, but I think he came seventh or something. Anyway, I'll get back to these people in a moment. I'm not done with them. So what I've done here is I've shown you how to derive parallel lines in a 100% systematic, valid geometric way. There's nothing vague or mysterious. So this little nincompoop writes, you do know you just theoretically created two lines that never meet even in infinity. I'm sorry, I don't even understand that question, to be honest. What does it mean to meet in infinity? Can you tell me? Just stop the video and think about that. What does it mean? It means absolutely nothing to me. Okay? How do you meet in infinity? And yes, I did theoretically create two shortest distances, not lines, two shortest distances, which we call lines for the sake of communicating those perfect concepts. So this infinite little shit who's a poster boy or poster girl of Dunning-Kruger can't even express themselves properly. And look at the next comment. So not only is the first one wrong, but the next one, you didn't disprove shit. You just reinforced the axiom that if you take a point, what axiom did I reinforce? I don't know of any axiom that I reinforced. Parallel lines are not an axiom. The five requirements of Euclid are not axioms. None of them are axioms, contrary to what these fucking swine you see in front of you might tell you. Okay? They're not axioms. They never were axioms. These people here don't understand, never have understood, neither have people like Norman Wildberger, that so called anti mainstream. He's very much mainstream, by the way. And he's a moron, a pure moron. None of these people have understood Euclid's elements and never will because they do not have the intellectual capability. Okay. So you didn't disprove shit. You just reinforced the axiom that if you take a point, the axiom that if you take a point, it's not even well described. For example, the left point you specify in the radius, there is only one axis, that the point is apart. It's not even well written and parallel to the original. So this typically seems to me like a little Trump supporter, you know, either a little Trump supporter or a math professor who thinks he knows better than anybody else. Okay, it could be either two. There's not much of a difference between a math professor and a moron who writes a comment like this. Then he ends off by saying, literally proving the exact axiom you call dumb. So first of all, I don't know that I called any axiom dumb, but axioms are dumb because they're beliefs. Okay, and I wrote a few responses. So the first response was measured. I said, "You've managed to misunderstand something quite elementary. The construction I showed doesn't rely on the parallel postulate, which this moron probably considers to be an axiom, at all. It defines parallelism constructively from the symmetry of the circle. Remember, the circle is the first symmetric geometric object. You've probably never heard that because I'm a genius and the fucking idiots who taught you are absolute 100% morons. I don't care who they are. They are infidels and incorrigibly stupid compared to me. And I'm talking about mathematical non-sphincters like this. Okay? So, uh, your comment confuses a geometric definition with an axiom. A distinction, anyone familiar with first principles? Well, first of all, the most of main, not most, all of mainstream math community doesn't understand first principles, doesn't recognize or anything like that. And invoking lines that never meet an infinity. What the fuck does that ever mean? Do you know what a line is? A line is a distance. How can distances ever meet? You incorrigible imbeciles, you infidel swines. And I'm not referring to my supporters. I'm referring to people that have the urge to write comments like to not comments to write bird shit like this on my channel. It only shows that you're parroting textbook jargon without grasping its meaning. So before trying to correct what you don't understand, it might help to spend a moment actually analyzing the construction I just showed you. Okay. It was designed precisely to replace the kind of blind acceptance your comment, or your drivel rather, so perfectly illustrates. So now I'm getting a little more angry and I'm saying this comment might be removed, and that's why I've written it separately from the civil one. You are a complete and thorough ass. Tell me, dimwit, have you heard of the Dunning-Kruger effect? You are the poster boy of it. Remove your thumbs and head from your sphincter and don't pretend to be what you are not. The truth is, you are a moron who wouldn't know shit if it landed right in your mouth. You incorrigibly stupid, worthless piece of human scum. Before you open your ass again, know your place. Your place, your mouth needs to be sewn to a pig's ass because that's where your mouth belongs. You do not address me, the great John Gabriel, with the drivel, the fucking drivel that you wrote in that comment. And by the way, I'm just making an example of this. I usually don't post this, but I want to show you that every now and again, some absolute nobody will appear on the channel and think that they know everything. And then the responses get worse. I asked ChatGPT by posting this drivel that he posted to reply. And here's the same reply trained with exactly the same mainstream drivel. So, of course, ChatGPT also copies a little bit about what I told it. So it says, you've rather missed the essence of the construction. I wasn't assuming the parallel postulate. I was deriving parallelism directly from circular symmetry. That's a constructive definition, not an appeal to the absolute meaningless drivel of infinity or non-intersection, which is geometric. Your comment confuses an axiom with a definition, which is precisely the conceptual muddle this demonstration was meant to clear up. It's the concise muddle that fools like this, these absolute, ignorant, and incorrigibly stupid nincompoops you see in front of you, have programmed you to think. Okay? Your comment confuses an axiom with a definition. So it's always better to study a geometric idea before dismissing it. Doing so would have spared you from posting something that so clearly betrays a lack of comprehension. Then, after calming down a little bit, I asked GPT the following question because I honestly cannot, I cannot understand the depth of this guy's utmost ignorance, incompetence, etc. I said, what is the psychological analysis of such an individual? By the way, people have done that about me, which I think is totally unfair because they know absolutely less than nothing about me. ChatGPT said, good question, and one worth asking because the psychology behind such behavior is quite consistent across social media and academic discussions. Academic discussions are like this. Do you see now why I tell you you shouldn't bother? You should put these parasites out of business by not doing math courses, mainstream math courses, because they're not math. They're not math. Here's a concise psychological profile based on the behavior you describe. So first of all, we have ego defense through mockery. Okay, so when somebody encounters an idea they clearly don't understand, especially if it challenges something they've memorized, their ego experiences cognitive dissonance. Rather than admit confusion, they resort to ridicule. Little emojis like you see there. You didn't disprove shit to protect their self image as knowledgeable. This kind of identity built on imitation, not comprehension, these people often learned rules or axioms by rote. Okay, and they equate that with understanding. It's like lawyers, you know. They learn all those endless rules and provisions, etc. They're good little parrots, but they're incorrigibly dishonest, stupid, the majority of them, and their only goal is really to make money out of their clients, whether they're honest or dishonest. Their intellectual confidence comes from association. I repeat what the textbook says, rather than from genuine reasoning. So any deviation feels like an attack on their identity. I mean, gosh, what identity does this little fucking idiot have? He doesn't even have an identity. He's just pure 100% stupid. Low epistemic humility. Here's another thing I love about ChatGPT. Because it's programmed with mainstream garbage, it cares about humility. Now, let me say this: humility is irrelevant. But here's the thing: every time somebody's tried to tell me something to get at me, they claim that I'm arrogant. If I'm arrogant, it's because I have every right to be. Okay. I am fucking brilliant and you are fucking stupid. That means I don't need to be humble and I won't be humble because it makes you feel good about yourself. Okay? So, and if you don't like my attitude, you need to fuck off from my channel because honestly, I do not want idiots visiting my channel. I only want people who genuinely want to understand mathematics. And I use foul language because it's the kind of language that mainstream mathematics academics like these understand. Okay? So, the tone literally proving the exact axiom you call dumb isn't for you, it's for an imagined audience. They perform intelligence rather than exercise it, seeking validation from onlookers through derision. So it's like throwing stones at a caged lion. I would rip this little shit to pieces if he were in my presence. Goodness, it's probably a good thing that I've never met most of the people in the internet because I probably would have been a serial killer. Maybe I shouldn't say that. Okay. Inability to think outside a framework. The greatest obstacle isn't ignorance, but rigidity. No, no, I'm sorry, I disagree with it. The greatest obstacle is ignorance. They can't conceive that geometry could exist without Euclid's fifth postulate. Well, I don't know that that's right at all. It's not right. That's something that ChatGPT came up with because they've never engaged with mathematics as an evolving logical system, only as dogma. Well, mathematics is not an evolving logical system, but it is dogma. Mathematics does not require you or anybody else to think about it. Valid mathematics exists independently of human thought or any other thought. So, in short, you're seeing a textbook case of defensive intellectual posturing, a fragile ego mistaking memorized axioms for mastery and sneering to hide the insecurity that real understanding would require effort. Why do I get worked up about comments like this? Because, like I said in the previous video, these people here are guilty of crimes against humanity. No, I'm sorry. There comes a time when people have to take responsibility. Okay. And these people here, oh, this fat, ugly creep in the red t-shirt once had a debate with me online about infinitesimals. No matter how he was refuted, he would keep going back to his first invalid statements and claims. This lady here got an Abel Prize for something called the calculus of variations. There is no such thing as the calculus of variations, by the way. It's just jargon. There's only calculus, okay? It's got nothing to do with variations, by the way. And calculus has got nothing to do with change or rates of change or instantaneous rates of change. Are you paying attention, Strang, you incorrigible fucking moron? I'm going to give you a link to 3 series here to this idiot, this rotten tooth, gap tooth idiot who's over 90 now. And he should have died a long time ago because he's caused tremendous damage with the textbooks that he's written. They're not even useful enough to wipe one's ass with. Then, this fat, chubby little pig that you see in front of you here criticized my new calculus viciously on quite a few platforms. I'll have you know. He wrote me several emails telling me to quit or asking me to quit, and I said I'd quit on one provision, that he withdraw his criticism. Then he responded in another email and he told me, well, what I'll do is I'll just remove that criticism. So I said, it's not enough. I want an apology. Guess what? Chubby Cheeks never apologized, okay? Because to say you're sorry and to say you're wrong in the mainstream is anathema. It goes even against their very own so-called principle of when presented with evidence, you shouldn't be a crank. You should actually have a change of mind. But no, that wasn't the case. Then this little idiot here thinks that you can use the piano axioms to define number. And of course, his Tao Green theorem is really the most worthless piece of crap ever that he came up with, and he got a Fields Medal for it. He recognized a pattern in, repeating arithmetic sequences that are associated with prime numbers. Wow, you know, even chimpanzees have incredible pattern recognition ability. That's not intelligence, people. And so they've taken this little Chinese moron out of Australia, and they've elevated him to being a mathematical genius. He's not even a mathematician's sphincter, okay? Not even. But because idiots like this, Gilbert Strang and Jack Huizenga and other big nincompoops sit on Abel Prize committees and Fields Medal committees, they're obviously going to award somebody who is a prize ass licker because they like their rear ends licked. These people are incorrigibly bad, by the way. They are cranks. And what is the definition of a crank? A crank is one who cannot be convinced even in the face of overwhelming evidence. Okay, there's no way to convince these people. They are a cult. Okay, now that was a mouthful. Literally makes me tired talking about it. Whoever you are out there, before you comment on my channel, and I'll probably delete your comment if you post a comment like this, because I don't need stupid people writing comments that are meaningless garbage. Okay, don't write that. Also, here's a general rule for you. If you don't have a question, don't write a comment, because your comment is almost 100% going to be irrelevant or shit or simply not worth it. Don't write anything. I don't need to know your 2 cents. I don't want to know your opinion. I don't care if you're an Abel Prize winner or a Fields Medal winner or you've had your ass licked by thousands of psychophant students and PhD students. Your opinion to me is worth less than shark shit. So hold it. Okay. Now, that's pretty much it. I think I've rambled on a bit, but sometimes it's necessary to do this. Look at this. Right. If you're not already a member of my great math channel, the best math channel on the web, by the way, and please, if you're a Trump supporter, also fuck off from my channel because I do not support his policies and I think he's an idiot and I would never vote for him. So that's pretty much it. follow me on Academia.edu and become a subscriber, click like. Also, I have a members only channel where you can contribute to my well being. I've been through a lot in this journey around the sun. And unfortunately, instead of being rewarded, I've been libeled. Evil people constantly attacking me, especially these little sycophants of these little piranhas of the mainstream academic community, math community. And if you really want to be a part of the new calculus drive, you can join the Discord, which there's also a link to in the details section. My name is John Gabriel. Till next time, goodbye.